أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. Welcome everybody. Jazakumullah for arriving on time. And we will start today's class with just an idea to give you an idea as to what we're going to cover. This page we display at the beginning of the class so that if you're coming to the recordings, you'll know at a glance that this is the class that you're looking for maybe, and this is what we're going to be covering. Okay, so the information here is the lesson detail. It tells you which day and the date, and it tells you here the chapter that we'll be using for our recitation. It tells you here the main rule that we're going to be focusing on, although we will focus on all the rules that we've been teaching up until the lesson. And here it tells you the page, the lesson number in the book Tashilul-Qur'an, okay? And this is the page number that you'll find that lesson on, and these rules in particular. All the material that we use is used from the Tashilul-Qur'an, the second edition, and we do use some material that we can download, or you can download from the NQC website, which is nqc.org.uk. Okay, so without further ado, if I may have a student to the mic.
Yes, can we have student first, could I please request all students lower their hands for the moment, because it upsets the whole system of the mic list. Thank you very much, Jazakumullah, for that. And can we have student A7361 to the mic, please?
A7361. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, darling?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, sweetheart. So we're going to start, as we should start with all things, with remembering Allah and asking Him for His help and guidance. So if you could repeat after me. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Are you able to recite this dua by yourself? I can lead if you like.
I'll do it by myself.
Okay then.
Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'an.
MashaAllah, very, very nice. Very, very nice. You applied all the rules there. And with practice, you'll become more fluent. MashaAllah, well done. If you can read the English translation.
Oh Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge.
Fantastic. Okay. And the reference, please. Ibn Majah.
Ibn Majah.
Okay. And this tells you the date. Okay. So this is a book of hadith, and you will find this in there. Okay. Okay. So let's now move on to something that yesterday's teacher did go through with yourselves. And we will just go through it briefly today. And we will focus on these to start off with. And then when everybody's in a routine, we can maybe go straight into the lessons. But for now, we'll go through some of the rules that we expect people to abide by, just like you would do in a school. As our head teacher went to some effort of explaining on Monday, make sure that you're in wuzu, that your heads are covered. Please, please, please do not put your video on. Make sure that there's a red line across it, okay, in the participants list. And please, please, please do not raise your hand unless you're asked by the teacher. It affects lots and lots of things in terms of how we allocate the mic and what happens on our screens. When we take the register also, if you've raised your hand, you won't necessarily appear on our register because it's taken electronically. So don't raise your hand unless it's a real emergency. Please make sure you've logged in with your correct ID. Look in the participants list to see if you can identify yourself. it should be 1 or 2 letters followed by 4 numbers. That is a correct ID. Don't mess around with your ID. Don't add silly things like unicorns or footballs or whatever else is available. Okay, keep your ID, because as I say, we take the register electronically at different times, and if you're not correctly ID'd, you won't be marked as absent, and then you're likely to get an email from us to say your attendance is going down. Remember, only correct IDs will be called to mic. We need to know that whoever we're going to call to the mic is identifiable, and that there's a safe environment for all of our children and for the staff. Make sure you're in a quiet place where you can hear us and we can hear you if we call you to the mic. Remember, when you come onto the mic, everybody will listen and they will learn from your recitation, and they will learn from the feedback that the teacher supplies. Any questions, any issues, please contact us by email on this address at the bottom here, info@nqc.org.uk. Okay, fantastic. So let's now move on and just remind ourselves of some of the rules, just some of the rules that you were guided towards yesterday. One of the more important ones is the thick letters. They are listed here and they're highlighted in red. When you read these letters, whenever you encounter them, they are always thick and heavy sounds. And to produce the right sound, you will have to round your mouth in order to make the correct sound. Ho, repeat after me. Ho, sod, dod, do, zo, ghain, qaf. So these ones in red are always thick letters. The remaining letters in black are, the majority are thin letters. There are 2 letters which are an exception. And we will cover those rules when we come to it, but the ra and the lam, for the most part, are thin, but there are occasions when they become thick. We will cover those rules in an appropriate lesson. So remember, whenever you see any of these letters that are highlighted here in red, they're thick, heavy sounds. Okay, the other thing was, if I can just find the timing. Okay, so yesterday the teacher went to some effort to explain to you about timing. Make sure that when you see a stroke, which is a simple stroke, a fatha here, a kasra here, or a dhamma, any of those strokes, only 1 second, okay? If you see a long stroke, like a vertical fatha or a vertical kasra or a inverted dhamma, they will take twice as long, 2 seconds. Similarly, if you see a mud appearing at all, for example, let me highlight it here, okay, the alif, that's an alif madda. That will also mean that the ya, which has a fatha, will be sounded for 2 seconds. Here, sorry, not that one. Okay, so that's an alif madda. If you see a waw madda, as is the case here, okay, the noon, for in this case with the dhamma, that's stretched out for 2 seconds. And a ya madda, like here, is also stretched out for 2 seconds. Okay, so timing. Short strokes 1 second, long strokes 2 seconds, alif, waw and ya madda for 2 seconds. Those are things that you need to pay attention to, as well as the thick sounds. Okay, so having said that, let's now go to the chapter that we're going to be using for recitation today. And let me now go through here and highlight where the thick letters are and where the 2-second timings are in terms of mud. Okay, so here is a thick letter. 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 Okay, so I just want to make sure that I've got them all. There's one here, then there's one here, then there's this ghain, followed by this qaf. Okay, and this qaf, and then let me just go through. Here. Okay, so that will cover all of the thick letters that occur in this. In terms of stretching out, here is a waw madda. Alif madda. Alif madda. Vertical fatha, vertical fatha. Alif madda, alif madda. Okay, so as we read, if I've missed one, I'll highlight it, okay? But wherever they're highlighted, when you're reading, make sure that I've highlighted it. There's a reason, apply the rule, okay? So, if I may have a student on the mic.
Yes, can we have student N8363, please? And do you want in charge? There's another alif madda in the third verse next to the dal.
It is indeed, yes. Thank you, Jazakumullah. Okay, so I have a Nasra on the mic. Assalamu alaikum.
N8363.
N8363, assalamu alaikum. Okay, so she's obviously having some difficulty unmuting herself. Sweetheart, if you can check on your computer, there'll be some issue with your computer on the mic. See if you can fix that and we'll try and come back to you. Another student? Discipline in charge, if I may have another student.
Yes, we are having N8369, please.
Assalamu alaikum. N8369.
I think she is also having a problem with her mic. Let's just try once more. 8369, let me try once more.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Okay, so that's N8369.
Yes.
How are you, darling?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Yes, I am well. Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, sweetheart. So we are going to go through here, okay? And I will lead to start off with, and then I would like you to follow, okay?
Yeah.
Okay then. A'udhu billahi minash. Okay, before we do that, let's just go to the Dawood, okay? As the teacher yesterday did explain, whenever we go to Quran, okay, we must read the Dawood. It's an instruction that's written in the Holy Quran. And when thou recitest the Quran, seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. Okay, and it's in this chapter number 16, verse number 99. Okay, so let's, if you can, read it yourself here, darling.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The translation is all, darling.
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected.
MashaAllah. Okay then. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Qul,
Kul,
qul,
kul,
well done. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq.
kul a'udhu birabbil falaq.
Well done. Min sharri
Min sharri
ma khalaq.
ma khalaq.
Well done. Wa min sharri
Wa min sharri
ghasiqin
ghasikin
ghasiqin.
ghasikin.
Well done. The gha was lovely. Make sure that the qaf also is thick, okay? Ghasiqin.
Ghasiqun
Well done. Idha waqab.
iza waqab.
Well done. This letter here, okay, I just highlighted there, that one there, the zal, okay? That is a sound that you make as if you're saying the English word they or that, there, this, that the sound. How you make that the sound, this is exactly how you will make the sound for this letter, okay? Either.
Iza.
Okay, well done. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ.
Wa min sharri ghasiqin iza waqab.
Okay, well done. Okay, we will practice on getting the pronunciation of this letter right as we go along, okay? وَمِن شَرٍّ.
Wa min sharrin
Well done. نَفَّاثَاتٍ.
nafasa.
Well done. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
Wa min sharri nafasati fil uqad.
Okay, let's just take it from the sheen. شَرٍّ.
Sharrin
شَرٍّ نَفَّا.
sharrin nafa
sa.
sa.
Well done. شَرٍّ نَفَّاثَاتِ.
Sharrin nafasa
فِي الْعُقَدِ.
fil uqad.
Well done. See these little W signs here, okay? You see a few of them as we go around in the surah, okay?
Yeah.
They're tashdeeds or shadda, and when a letter carries a shadda, it's known as a mushaddad letter. So here, okay, here, this is a noon mushaddad. Here, this is a fa mushaddad. A mushaddad letter is written just once, okay, but in reality there are two of those letters there. It's just the way that the Arabs will write it. They'll just write the one time, and the shdeed on the top lets us know that there's actually two. So we have to press down because there's two letters there, okay? This is a noon mushaddad, so this ra, which joins on with the noon, we have to press down on because it's actually two. On top of that, noon ghunna. Ghunna was reminded yesterday in the class, okay? Ghunna takes 2 seconds nasalization sound. So that's why I've taken some time over these two letters, okay? If you listen again, sharrin nafatha.
Sharrin nafa
Well done, okay? When the noon joins onto the fa, it's joining onto the fa, but there's two fas, okay? So that's why I press down on the fa as well. So one more time, the whole verse. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
wa min sharrin nafasati fil uqad.
Okay, well done. Don't rush through it, but we'll come back, okay? وَمِن شَرِّ
Wa min sharri
حاسد
حاسد
إذا حسد.
إذا حسد.
Well done. Okay, sweetheart, we're going to go through this now one more time. Okay, try and make sure that you make this letter here, which also happened here, okay, into a the sound, okay?
Okay.
Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
من شر ما خلق.
من شر ما خلق.
Well done. ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب.
Okay, well done. Just here, you didn't make that thick, okay? And the pronunciation of this letter here, you need to work on. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
ومن شر نفثات في العقد.
Well done, okay? See this ra here?
Yeah.
This ra will join on with this noon, okay? Why? Because the noon has a tashdid. That means this noon must join on to a letter that comes before it, and the letter that comes before it that actually carries a stroke. So this noon doesn't join on with the lam or the alif, it joins on with the ra, because the ra is carrying the stroke. It's the nearest letter beforehand that carries a stroke. So when you read, you mustn't read the ri, even though that is what it looks like. You have to look ahead to see what's coming up. The ra and the noon join, okay? وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
ومن شر نفثات في العقد.
Okay, so what you're doing is a very classic thing that many students do in this particular surah, okay? In this here, from the sheen to the tha, people don't necessarily join the ra to the noon, they don't press down on the noon, and then they don't join the noon and the fa together, and the vertical fatha on top, they don't do the right timing either. Okay, so this is a very common thing, okay? But this is why we're on this course, so that we can correct ourselves. Listen very closely, okay? وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
ومن شر النفثات في العقد.
Well done. Okay, so that was very nice. One thing you didn't quite do. Do you know what it was that you didn't do?
No.
Okay, the noon has a 2-second ghunna sound, which means that you have to press down and make a sound. It was what we revised yesterday, okay?
Yeah.
So, وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
ومن شر النفثات في العقد.
Well done. You did the noon perfectly. You did the ghunna, you pressed down on it because it was a tashdid. You made a slight mistake here. Do you know what it was?
No.
Okay, what you did this time is that you didn't stretch out the vertical fatha for 2 seconds, okay? Even though previously you did. Again, that's something that's very common. When you're putting all the rules together, you'll apply some and then you'll forget to apply the others. So one more time, okay? وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ.
ومن شر النفثات في العقد.
Okay, well done. Okay, there was a 2-second timing here which you didn't do, but we will leave that for now. Okay, we'll come back to that. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ.
ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Well done, well done. Jazakumullah. So your reading actually is very, very nice. Your pronunciation is very, very nice. This particular surah, many people know it and they're taught it from a young age. So sometimes you've been taught it without even having looked at the Arabic. And so however you've been taught settles inside of your mind. But if you apply all the rules, and sometimes you do have to go over verses a few times over, inshallah, everything comes together. Jazakumullah for your help. Just the two things that I would point out to you is this particular letter here, you need to learn how to pronounce that properly. And that's a dhal, and it's pronounced like you would do the English word they. So the tongue goes between the tips, the tip of your tongue goes through the front two teeth. Dhal. Okay? And the timing here. Okay, Jazakumullah. Right. Okay then. So having done that.
Sorry to interrupt, Discipline Judge. Can students please refrain? That means please do not write anything next to your IDs. It is very distracting for everybody else in the class as well, and it is a rule which was pointed out today. So please, if you've written anything next to your ID, please remove it immediately. Jazakumullah.
Okay, right then. So let's now move on to, okay, having done that, let's move this out of the way. Okay, so today's lesson is what I've listed as Qalqala, a jerking sound. And I'm just going to remind you of some terms that we taught you in G1. And for those who are new to this particular course, you may not necessarily know the Arabic terms. So I'm just going to quickly go back and remind everybody. In the Tashilul-Qur'an, lesson number 12, quiescent. Okay, there is a lesson there, lesson number 12. And in this lesson, you are taught that, let me just get the highlighter, a word sakin exists. And a word sukoon exists. There's another word jazm. Okay, now here, this little symbol on top of the lam, that is what is known as a sukoon. It's also known as a jazm. Any letter that carries a sukoon is known as a sakin letter. So this lam that I've highlighted is known as a lam sakin. This meme here carries a sukoon and is known as a meme sakin. Here, this sin carries a sukoon and is known as a sin sakin. This symbol is known as a sukoon, sometimes a jazm, and any letter that carries it is known as a sakin letter. And as all of you will know, when you see a sukoon, that means that that letter is going to be joined to another letter beforehand. Okay? So, for example, if I just read through here, this sin is going to be joined to the alif, this gaf is going to be joined to the ta. Why? Because they're sakin letters. Istakbara. Istakbara. You make sure you join, you make sure you sound out both letters, but you don't linger too much, okay? You don't do is. It's just istakbara. Okay. So, sukoon or a jazm and sakin letters. So that's what I wanted to remind everybody of. Let's move on to the rule that we're going to go through today. This is in lesson number 25 and it's under a section jerking pronunciation. Some of you will know this as Qalqala, okay, but jerking pronunciation is another term. What we're going to teach you today is that when you see sakin letters, you do join, but there are 5 letters that when they are sakin, then there's a certain jerking sound that is applied to them. Those 5 letters are Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, and Dal. Okay, and we did go through this in the last term, but I'm just going to go through reading through these. Okay, I'll read it by myself because it's just revision, and then we'll move on. When you join a sakin letter, which happens also to be a qalqala letter, then what happens is you make a slight jerk on that sound. Only a very slight jerk, okay? And I'll demonstrate it as I go along. Iq, sat, ib, aj, jid, riq, hit, ghab, ruj, had. Just a slight jerky sound. Your tongue just bounces, okay? If I was to read this without the jerky sound, I would say had. And when I say that, my tongue touches the bridge of my mouth and then it stays there, had. But if I make the jerking sound, the tongue comes away from the bridge of my mouth, had. Okay? These 5 letters are known as qalqala letters. If ever they carry a sukoon, there will be some sort of jerking sound when you join them. Now, the way that the sound is made varies depending on where in the word that particular sakin qalqala letter occurs. If the letter occurs with a sukoon within a word, it's pronounced slightly differently to how it is elsewhere. If I may have a student on the mic so that we could go through this exercise.
Yes, we have student A7364 on the mic.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, darling. Okay, so let's go through this exercise here. Okay, we're going to start here. Here we have a qaf with a sukoon. Qaf is one of those qalqala letters. Okay, so we're going to have a slight jerking sound. It happens to be within a word. So as we read through this, this is how it will sound. If you could follow with me. Iqra.
Iqra.
Well done. 6 sound, okay? Iqra.
Iqra.
Well done. 6. Qa. Iqra.
Iqra.
Well done. This one here. Fawasatuna.
Fawasatuna.
Well done, mashallah. Very nice, because the seam stayed thin. Very, very nice. Ibrahima.
Ibrahima.
Well done, well done. With a meme, make sure that the dry parts of your lips, the ones that are outside of your mouth, make them join together, okay, to make the sound. Ibrahima.
Ibrahima.
Well done. Ajruhu.
Ajrahu.
Ajruhu.
Ajruhu.
Well done. Be careful not to make this jim sound as if it's got a fatha, okay? It mustn't sound like ajja, okay? Ajruhu.
Ajruhu.
Well done, well done. Yajidka.
Yajidka.
Well done, well done. Mashallah, very nice reading. Jazakumullah for your help. Another student to the mic for the next examples.
Yes, can we have student Nasa N8384.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. Okay then, darling, we're going to go on to the next one here. Okay.
Yeah.
And here, the examples are when the qalqala letter has a sukoon, but it happens to be at the end of a word. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how it's going to sound. Zuq.
Zuq.
Okay. Your qalqala and your qaf were absolutely, mashallah, beautiful. Dhal. Okay. Dhal. Zuq.
ذق
Well done. Here. تحط.
تحط
Well done. This ta is a thin sound. Yeah? تحط.
تحط
Mashallah, beautiful, because the ha is thin and the ta is thin, and this happens to be a thick sound. So you did that very, very nicely.
Thank you.
Farghab.
فرغب
Well done. Farghab.
فرغب
Well done. Ukhruj.
أخرج.
Well done. Mashallah, your pronunciation is very nice.
Thank you.
Lam yalid.
لم يلد.
Well done. Mashallah, very, very nice reading. Your pronunciation is very good. Well done. Jazakumullah. Okay, another student to the mic for the next exercise.
Yes, it's A7362, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, darling. Okay, so we've just gone through, introduced that there are 5 letters that I've highlighted up here: Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, Dal. Those letters are known as Qalqala letters. When they carry a sukoon, then they will make a jerking sound. And the sound that they will make varies slightly depending on where they are in the word. And here we went through how they sound when they're within a word. And here we went through and sounded them out when they were at the end of a word. And we're now going to go through and work out, listen to how they will sound when we pause on a vowel Qalqala letter. Now what that means is, see this, let me get my hand, okay? See this ta here,
Yes.
it has dhammatain on it. It's a vowel letter, okay? When we're reading, when we pause on this letter, and we're going to pause on it because there's a waqf sign afterwards. When we pause, there are rules which mean that this changes into a sukoon. Now we will revise waqf in another lesson, but for now just know that there are times when what your eyes are showing you is vowels, but you're actually going to read sukoon. So in this particular exercise, we're going to work out how to make the sounds when we're pausing on vowel letters. So if you repeat after me, وَالطَّارِقَ.
والطارق.
Well done, beautiful. Make it my highlighter again. Okay, next one here. Muhit.
محيط.
Well done. Avab.
أبواب.
Well done. Furuj.
فروج.
Ahad.
أحد.
Well done, well done. Very, very nice. Jazakumullah for your help.
Excuse me, dear teacher.
Yes,
You know the surah we were doing?
yes.
I really wanted to do it because I really wanted to show you my voice. Do you mind if I could quickly do it?
Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to give everybody a chance to come on the mic, but we will be asking for recordings over the weekend. And if you send that in, we can play that next week, inshallah.
Okay.
All right then, Jazakumullah. Okay then, so having demonstrated those, let's now put those into practice by going to the surah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clear off these other ones here. Okay, so otherwise it becomes a little bit cluttered. Okay, so Qaf, it carries a vowel, but we're going to pause on it. So this will become a sakin Qaf. Qaf is a Qalqala letter, so we're going to make a jerking sound. And we're going to make this jerking sound as we would do when we pause on a vowel letter. Here, again, the same thing. Qaf, a Qalqala letter, we're going to pause here because there's a verse end. So we're going to make a jerking sound on that. If we go through here, Ba is a Qalqala letter. We're going to pause just before this verse end. So we're going to make the jerking sound. Dal, same scenario, is a Qalqala letter. We're going to make a jerking sound. And here, okay. So if I've missed one, I will notice it as we're reading. Okay, so if I may have a student to the mic now, please.
Yes, we are going to try again, Nasra, N8363.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Seems it's still not working. Okay, we'll try another student. We will have N8. I think students are putting their hands up, which makes everything move around in the list a little bit too much. N8380.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, darling. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Well, Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, just before we recite, now the in charge is going to take the register. So if you've got your hands up or you're about to put your hand up, what will happen is that you'll suddenly disappear off the register. So even though you're in the class, you won't be marked as being in attendance. So make sure your hand's off and that you don't put it on. And then the day teacher will take a couple of seconds and she will take the register, okay? Okay, so while she's doing that, Sriha, we are going to read through this surah. And I would like you to remember where the 6 sounds were and see if you can apply the Qalqala sound, and I'll correct you as need to, okay? So start with the Tawud and then with the Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Well done, well done. Very, very nice reading. Your pronunciation was very good. I'm just going to point out, okay, a couple of things that you didn't do. On this off and this off, you didn't manifest, which means you didn't demonstrate with your voice the jerking sound. I couldn't hear it. You did it on the ba, you did do it on the dal, and on this dal, okay? So we're going to go through it again. Make sure that you do it on the Qalqala, on the qaf, okay? The other thing for now, which is most important, is that here you didn't do a 2-second Zuna sound. You did it very briefly and you moved on far too quickly. This is very, very common. Okay, this is very, very common. Sharin, 2 seconds. Shar, this has to be joined together, press down on the ra. And then ra and the noon join, press down on the noon for 2 seconds. Sharin, and then na and the fa join. Naf. There's a tashdid on top of the fa. So you must press down, okay?
Okay.
Sharin naf fa fa. And once you've done the 2-second timing on the fa, you still have to do the 2-second timing on here as well, okay? Sharin naf fa fa. Okay, so pay attention to everything that's going on here, okay?
Okay.
Qalqala on the qafs, and in this section here, okay, you must pay attention. The other thing that you did, and we'll come to this in a later lesson, okay, is that you didn't read these properly. You stretch this ghunna sound out, which you shouldn't do. But for now, I'm going to let that ride because it's something we haven't covered. So if you could read again from here.
قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Mashallah, mashallah. Very, very nice. Really nice voice, really nice reading. And despite being able to read so nicely, in the first time, you still needed to be reminded on this, which just shows you that we're all able to improve. Okay, that was really nice reading. Very, very nice reading. Jazakumullah, sweetheart. If I can have another student on the mic.
Yes, can we have a tifl now? And we will have A7372 on the mic, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, darling. Okay, sweetheart. So if you can, Dawood, Tasmiyah. Okay, Dawood is the A'udhu Billahi. Okay, and the Tasmiyah is the Bismillah. Okay, so Dawood and Tasmiyah, make sure you apply all the rules, and I've highlighted for you here. If I can just go through and get rid of this. Okay, I've highlighted all of the Qalqala letters. Okay, make sure you do pay attention to this section here. Okay, all right, let's go for it. A'udhu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Well done, well done. Very, very nice. Okay, so we're just going to go through this. Okay, and I've highlighted some of the places where you didn't do things quite right. Okay.
Okay.
Qaf is a thick, heavy sound. Okay, you didn't say the qaf thick enough. This dhal is pronunciation is a the. Put the tip of your tongue between the front two teeth. Yeah, dhal. Repeat it for me, darling. Dhal.
Zal.
Okay. If you're an Urdu speaker, you'll probably know this letter as a zal. Okay, there's a Z sound associated with it. But this is Arabic, and although the letter looks the same as it does in Urdu, this is Arabic. So the pronunciation is dhal. And we will work on that, and hopefully, inshallah, as the term progresses, your pronunciation of that will get better. Qalqala here was manifested. In fact, actually, the Qalqala is something that I'm going to go through with you now. Okay, and you did struggle here, which, as I've already said, is something that many people do. So let's just go through, and I'm going to highlight as we go along. Okay, so repeat after me. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Qul a'udhu
قل أعوذ
bi rabbil falaq.
قل أعوذ برب الفلق
Well done. Thick sound here, yeah? Falaq.
فلق
Well done. Okay. The qaf, when you make the sound, you should feel the very back of your throat, right at the top, the very back of your mouth at the top of your throat. That's where the sound should come, yeah? Qaf.
Okay.
Okay.
Qaf.
Falaq.
Falaq.
Well done. Okay. Min sharri ma khalaq.
Min sharri ma khalaq.
Well done. Your qaf was lovely there and your qalqala was very nice. Khalaq.
Khalaq.
Well done. Min sharri ma khalaq.
Min sharri ma khalaq.
Well done. Wa min sharri
Wa min sharri
gha.
gha.
Well done, because this is a thick sound. Ghasiqin
Ghasiqin.
idha waqab.
Ida waqab.
Okay. Dhal idha waqab.
Ida waqab.
Okay. Tip of your tongue, put it between the very front two teeth, yeah? Dhal.
Zal.
Well done. So, idha.
Ida.
Well done. Idha waqab.
Ida waqab.
Okay. From here again. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ.
Wa min sharri ghasiqin idza waqab.
Okay, well done. Okay, one more time. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ.
Wa min sharri ghasiqin idza waqab.
Okay, well done. Okay, we're going to work on your thick sounds as you go through the term, inshallah. Let's move on. وَمِن شَرٍّ
Wa min sharrin
نفا
nafa
ثا.
fa.
Well done. ومن شر النفاثات.
Wa min sharri nafasat.
This noon and this ra are going to join. Rin.
Then
Well done. Okay. There is a tashdid just on top of the noon. That means that that noon must join to a letter that comes before it, and the letter that comes before it that carries a stroke. This lam and this alif are basically blank letters. You ignore them, okay? Because this noon mushaddad has to join to the most recent voweled letter, and the most recent voweled letter is the ra, okay? So that's why the alif and the lam are ignored, because of this mushaddad noon, okay? وَمِن شَرٍّ
wa min sharrin
نفاثات.
nafas
fa.
fa.
Well done. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ.
Wa min sharrin nafasa
fil uqad.
fil uqad.
Okay. وَمِن شَرِّ
Wa min sharri
حاسد
hasidin
إذا حسد.
ida hasad.
Well done. Okay. Zal إذا حسد.
Ida hasad.
Well done, well done. Okay. Okay, sweetheart, your reading is as we would expect somebody who's just finished Qaida and is just starting the grammar jid, okay? So you will hear, as we go through the course, some students who are, sounding like almost like they're professionals. But we have many different abilities on our course, and your standard is what we would expect from somebody who's just finished Qaida, okay? And inshallah, with practice, you will become more and more proficient, okay?
Okay.
Okay then, but very, very nice attempt at reading it. Jazakumullah for your help.
Kada.
Allah Hafiz. Okay then, so I'm going to now read through this once myself, and then we may have another student on the mic before we conclude our class, okay? So if you follow along with me at home and notice the timings and the thick letters and where the qalqala is, okay? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. Okay, now notice I didn't take to rush through it. I took some time. I didn't focus at all on the melody at all. Why? Because I need you to understand that the rules are more important. Melody is very important, but it comes secondary to applying the rules. Focus on applying the rules, the melody will come. Okay? One more student on the mic, please.
Yes, we have Anasa. It's N8409, please.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam, darling. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of our class, darling. So if you can read through the surah, and then we will have a go. Okay, go for it, darling.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Well done, well done. Very, very nice reading, actually, to end the recitation today. Couple of things, and it's something that another student also did as well. This letter here is a ho. When you read it translated into English and it's written out, it's spelled as a K-H-A-A, okay? But you make the ho sound by closing the very back of your mouth at the top of your throat, okay? You shouldn't actually say a k sound at all, okay? This is a ho.
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 Okay, so you will have to practice that, okay? It's more of a h sound, okay? Ho.
Ho.
Well done, okay? This is a ghain. Ghain. See if you can say that for me, darling. Ghain.
Going.
Okay, well done. In English, when it's written out, it does have a G-H-A-Y-N. So you may be forgiven for thinking it's a g, okay? But it's ghain. Ghain. One more go. Sweetheart, are you still there? Okay, I seem to have lost that student.
The mic is still on. They seem to have disappeared.
Okay, not to worry. I will give the feedback anyway, as some of you will also have heard that that student also struggled here. Okay, when you practice this later on at home, make sure that you understand that the tashdīds here mean that there is joining, and that you must press down on mushaddad letters, and that the noon has a ghunna. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. Well done. Okay, and I highlighted these two ha. Is it because when the student read, she read them as almost thick letters. This is a very thin sound. Ha, hasidin, idha hasad. Okay, so now we've come to the end of our class. So let me now quickly give you your homework. Today's Wednesday, the 8th of January, and the homework today is concerning the surah of the day, which is chapter 113, the complete surah, 1 to 6 verses. We focused on thick letters and on timing, but the main focus was on Qalqala, the jerking sound, which was you can find in lesson number 25 of the Talimul-Quran under the section jerking. Lesson reference for the thick letters, if you want them, is lesson number 2. The timing, if you want to, you can go to nqc.org.uk, go to downloads, and you'll be able to download a sheet which will give you some instructions on timing. And Qalqala is in lesson 25, exercise 25.7 to 11. And we focused in particular on this particular exercise because that concerns the Qalqala that was in practice today. That's on page 113. We would like you to practice this surah, pay attention to all the things that we pointed out and that other students also were finding difficult. Practice, and then inshallah tomorrow we will move on and we will revise some more rules. So for now, I will say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.